They say the American dream is dead, but I never believed that. Not really. I just figured it was sleeping. And for a long time, I worked quietly to wake it up. I lived like a monk. No vacations. No streaming subscriptions. No upgrades. While everyone else in my family scrolled Zillow like it was Pinterest, fantasizing about open-concept kitchens and backyard hammocks, I was grinding. I worked IT full-time and drove for Lyft at night. Ate more peanut butter than any human should. I skipped my cousin's wedding to pick up overtime. Skipped birthdays to save on gas. But I was okay with it. Because every time I checked that little savings account labeled home and saw the number go up, $5,000, $10,000, $25,000, I felt like I could finally breathe. Like I was building something real. Like all the rejection, the ignored messages, the "you're just dramatic" moments from my family were finally leading to something better. I didn't grow up poor. We were middle class. 2 cars, a decent house, backyard barbecues. But my parents always acted like every dime spent on me was a burden. My younger sister, Lena? She could do no wrong. Private art school. Therapy 3 times a week. New iPhones like clockwork. It's because she's sensitive. My mom would say, "You're more resilient." That word followed me my entire life. Resilient. Strong. Translation: you can survive without love. She can't. So I swallowed my feelings and made my own way. I moved out at 19, worked my ass off through community college, and kept going. When my car broke down, I walked 3 miles to work. When I got COVID and missed 2 weeks of pay, I pulled from my emergency fund, not once asking anyone for help. That house fund? It was sacred. By the time I turned 28, I had just over $42,800 saved. Not a fortune, but more than enough to make a 15% down payment on a starter home in my area. I'd already spoken to a mortgage lender. I'd even printed out pre-qualification paperwork. It felt real. One night, I went to dinner with my parents. They paid. That alone should have tipped me off. My dad kept asking about my plans, and Mom kept glancing at Lena's phone every 5 seconds. I remember Lena showing off a picture of this new Audi she'd test-driven. Said it was $48,000. My parents oohed and awed like she'd announced a pregnancy. "You should treat yourself," my mom told her. "You've been through a lot." "Maybe someday," Lena said, all coy. "It's just, the down payment is killer." I smiled. Not because I liked the conversation, but because I could practically see the gears turning behind their eyes. That night, I moved the majority of my house fund to a different bank. I didn't tell them. But I made a mistake. See, a year prior, I had let my dad co-sign a joint high-yield account with me. It gave me a bonus APR and supposedly helped him qualify for something tax-related with his business. The deal was simple: he'd never touch it. Just a name on paper. It felt harmless. I should have known better. Because one morning, a Monday I will never forget, I opened my bank app while sipping my lukewarm gas station coffee. And the account was empty. 0. Not overdraft. Not partially drained. Gone. I blinked. Checked again. $0. $42,812 vanished. 5 years of side gigs and skipped birthdays. Gone in one blink. I didn't panic. Not yet. I figured it was a mistake. A transfer error. So I called the bank. "Hi, this is Aiden Larson. I'm calling about my account ending in 9928. There seems to be..." "Ah, yes. That account was closed 4 days ago," the representative chirped. "Closed? What?" "Yes, funds were withdrawn via wire to an external account. Authorized by the co-owner." I went still. "Who did the authorization?" "Mr. Thomas Larson. It was requested in branch." "My father." I don't even remember hanging up. Just the silence that followed. That low, droning silence where the world seems too quiet to be real. Then I did what I always did, I gave people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it was a mix-up. Maybe Dad wired the wrong account. Maybe it was temporary. I called him. No answer. I called again. Straight to voicemail. By noon, I was in my manager's office pretending to have a migraine so I could leave early. I drove straight to my parents' house, heart pounding the whole way. Their cars were in the driveway. And parked beside them, sparkling like a smug little demon in the sunlight, was an Audi Q5. Brand new. Midnight black. Still had the dealer plates. And that's when I knew. They didn't accidentally take my money. They took it and spent it. I didn't knock. I walked straight through the front door, like I used to when I still believed this house belonged to people who loved me. The moment I stepped in, I could smell fresh leather and rich people's lies. Lena was sitting at the kitchen table, still in her black hoodie, sipping a green smoothie like she'd just come back from running someone's credit score. Dad looked up first. "Hey, bud. Thought you were working today." I didn't respond. I just pulled up the bank app on my phone and turned the screen toward him. He squinted. "What's that?" "You tell me." Lena glanced up. Her eyes landed on the app, and I saw it, that flicker. The kind of flinch someone makes when they realize you know. She looked at Dad. Dad looked at Mom. Mom took a long, dramatic sip of her tea. "You used it," I said quietly. "You actually took it." Dad sighed, like this was all a big inconvenience. "Aiden, we needed to have a conversation." "No, we didn't," I snapped. "Because it was my money." Lena leaned back, arms folded. "Technically, it was in a shared account." "You added Dad." I turned to her. "Why do you even know that?" Another silence. Then Mom chimed in, cheerful as a hostage negotiator. "Sweetheart, we know you've been working really hard. But Lena needed a reliable vehicle. That old Civic wasn't safe anymore, and she..." "She what?" I interrupted. "She needed a $50,000 car?" Lena snorted. "It wasn't 50. It was 48. "Oh, well, that's so much better. I guess we can all relax now." Dad stood up. "That's enough. You're not going to talk to your sister like that in our house." I looked at him, really looked at him, and felt something cold slide into place in my chest. Like a door shutting for the last time. "You didn't even call me," I said. "You didn't ask. You didn't warn me. You just took it." Dad had the nerve to look offended. "It's not like you were using it." I stared at him. "It was my house fund. You knew that." Mom put a hand on my arm, fake gentle. "Honey, we thought you'd understand. Lena's had such a hard year. The breakup. Her anxiety. The job stuff. She's really been struggling. So I get punished for that?" "You're not being punished," she said like I was a toddler. "You're just more independent. You can save again." I actually laughed. Not out of humor. Out of pure disbelief. "I can save again," I repeated. "Wow. Do you hear yourselves?" Dad crossed his arms. "You're being dramatic. It's money. You'll earn more." I looked at Lena. She didn't say anything, just raised her eyebrows like I was overreacting. And that's when I felt it, the click. That final shift inside me. The part of me that used to crave their approval, gone. Just gone. I put my phone away and smiled. That smile froze Lena mid-sip. "Why are you smiling?" "Nothing," I said. "I'm just realizing a lot of things." Dad narrowed his eyes. "You're not gonna start something stupid, are you?" "No," I said, grabbing my keys. "I think I'm going to let you all enjoy what you've taken." Mom's smile faltered. "Aiden, don't be like this." She needed it more. I paused at the doorway, looked back, and said the words that cracked the air like ice. "You had no idea what that account was tied to, did you?" And then I left. Drove in silence. No music. Just the ticking of the engine and the high-pitched ringing of betrayal. They thought I'd scream. That I'd threaten. that I'd grovel for it back. But they didn't realize the person they stole from isn't the same person they raised. They didn't take my money. They flipped a switch. And now I'm going to flip one back. I didn't text. I didn't post. I didn't answer a single call. But I watched. That week, Lena posted 12 different pictures of the car. 12. Front shots, back shots, one of her sitting on the hood like she was starring in a CW drama. Captioned it, "When life gets hard, upgrade the ride nail polish." The likes rolled in. Her friends commented fire emojis and YSSS Queen, and deserve this so much. One of her friends, Sasha, commented, "Wait, I thought you said you couldn't afford it. Did the dealership just bend over for you or?" Lena replied, "Family pulled through like always. Red Heart wouldn't survive without my big bro, haha." That one made me choke on my coffee. Wouldn't survive without my big bro. As if I'd wrapped the keys in a bow and said, "Enjoy." There's a special kind of rage that hits when someone weaponizes your silence. And in that moment, I realized they didn't just steal from me. They were trying to frame it like I gave it freely. Like I was the one being generous. They were rewriting the story before the dust even settled. But here's the thing about lies, they're easy to spin, until paperwork gets involved. 3 days after the confrontation, I got a call from a number I recognized. Madison, my mortgage advisor from the credit union I'd been working with. "Hi Aiden. Just checking in. I saw the withdrawal from your holding account and wanted to follow up. Are you moving forward with another lender?" I blinked. "Withdrawal?" "Yeah, the $42,000 holding tied to the mortgage pre-approval. It triggered a temporary freeze on your file. We just wanted to make sure it wasn't fraud." And there it was, the first domino. See, when I built my house fund, I didn't just toss it in a savings account like a rookie. I'd met with a financial advisor. Opened a sub-holding account through a credit union with a high-yield option. But more importantly, I tied that account to my mortgage application through a shared collateral clause, specifically Clause 14C. Why? Because I wanted to show verified assets for a pre-approved loan and also link the account to a trust my parents had set up decades ago for future family investments. A trust they never closed. A trust my name was still on. A trust my fund had been funneled through for tax purposes. Which meant, when they withdrew it, they didn't just empty my fund. They triggered a breach in the credit union's internal system, flagged the family trust, and now the bank thought something shady was going on. I didn't even have to do anything yet. The system was doing it for me. Still, I played dumb on the call. "Oh. Yeah, there was some unexpected family emergency. I'll be following up soon." "No problem," Madison said. "Just know the trust account is under review now due to the withdrawal. Legal's handling it internally. Just protocol." I thanked her, hung up, and laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was insane how easily they'd walked into it. That night, I started pulling receipts. Old texts. Screenshots. Transaction histories. One message from Dad stuck out from a year ago. "This joint trust is just temporary. We'll close it after taxes. Just don't touch anything until then." Right. I opened a new spreadsheet titled Contingency. The first tab, Lena's lie. I wasn't sure what exactly she told them to justify stealing the fund. But my gut told me there was more to it than, "She needs a car." So I reached out to an old friend, Eli, who worked at the dealership she'd tagged on Instagram. "Hey man. Long shot, but you still work at Westline Auto?" "Yup." "Sales floor." "Why?" "Got a weird question. Someone I know bought an Audi Q5 there this month. Any chance you remember a girl named Lena Larson?" Eli sent a laughing emoji. Then, "Oh hell yeah. Drama City." Said she had a cosigner and emergency financing. Dad looked miserable. Kept saying this is a one-time thing. She told us the down payment came from her inheritance. Inheritance? Oh, Lena. That lie was about to blow a hole in more than just my savings. The first thing I learned after having your entire life savings stolen by your family is this: they'll find a way to make you the problem. It started with the silence. No apology. No text saying, "Let's talk." No explanation about the account. Not even a weak excuse. Just total, smug, glowing silence. And then came the performance. My parents hosted dinner 2 nights later. I didn't go, obviously. But I saw the photos, Lena smiling with a glass of wine in her hand, my mom captioning it. "So proud of our girl for pushing through such a tough season. Resilience looks good on you." Resilience. The same word they used on me for years, as a substitute for neglect. For silence. For using me like a battery they could recharge with, guilt-free. And now she was the resilient one? For what? Surviving her unpaid car note by stealing her brother's home fund. The next day, I got a voicemail from Mom. "Hi, sweetie. Just checking in. I know you're probably still upset. I really hope you can understand why we did what we did. Lena's been through a lot. You'll be fine. You've always been strong. She's more fragile. She needs stability." I played it twice. The first time, I was stunned. The second time, I smiled. Because I realized something. They still didn't think I'd do anything. They still saw me as the quiet one. The one who just absorbs it all. Who forgives. Who gets over it. But they weren't paying attention. Not really. They didn't notice I'd already initiated a formal complaint to the credit union regarding unauthorized trust withdrawals. Had Madison at the bank send me copies of every transaction touching the trust in the past 18 months. Filed a fraud alert, quietly, through a secondary credit monitor to trigger internal review flags. But most importantly, I sent an email to the family's old estate lawyer, under the subject line: Larson Family Trust, Status Review and Beneficiary Actions. That trust? Still tied to their mortgage. Their line of credit. Lena's car co-signer agreement. And guess who now had trigger authority to temporarily freeze any actions linked to the trust, per the original clause Dad signed when he just wanted the tax break. Me. But I didn't tell them. Instead, I waited. Because when people think you're weak, they don't hide their moves. And on Friday, Lena made one. I got a Venmo request. $248. 87, car registration / you said you'd help. I stared at it for a solid minute. Then I screenshotted it, declined the request, and added a single comment. That wasn't help. That was theft. Minutes later, my phone rang. It was her. Wow, seriously? Are you this bitter? No, I said flatly. Just making sure we're on the same page. It was just a car, Aiden. You can save again. Why are you being so dramatic? I let the silence do the talking. She sighed. Mom said you're pulling some weird crap with the bank. Are you? She tell you what the account was tied to? No. She said you're being hostile? Paranoid. Messing with the trust. I smiled again. Then maybe she should read the paperwork she signed. Ugh. Whatever. You're acting like a child. This is why no one tells you anything. Wrong, I replied. This is why you can't anymore. I hung up. Then opened my email. One unread message from the estate lawyer. Your request to place a temporary hold on the trust disbursements has been approved. Per Clause 14C, your authority as co-beneficiary allows up to 60 days of freeze action while under formal review. Bingo. Let's see how fragile she is without the family ATM functioning. It started on a Tuesday. I got a voicemail from my dad at 6:13 a.m. Hey. Something weird's going on with the trust. My Amex just declined. We need to talk. That was it. No greeting. No apology. Just the panicked tone of someone who just had their free ride hit a speed bump. I didn't call back. By noon, I had 3 more missed calls, one from Mom, one from Lena, and another from a number I recognized, the dealership. That one made me smile. I opened my laptop and checked the credit union dashboard. Sure enough, the temporary freeze on the Larson family trust had triggered a ripple. All outgoing payments linked to it were under manual review. That included the monthly mortgage auto draft from my parents' home, Lena's luxury car loan, co-signed by Dad, my parents' personal line of credit. All frozen. Because Clause 14C, the one Dad was too lazy to read in full, gave any co-beneficiary the right to suspend disbursements if misuse or breach was suspected. And guess what? Dumping $42,000 into a random vehicle without informing all beneficiaries counted as a breach. When I filed the form through the estate lawyer, it wasn't out of spite. It was for clarity. All I wanted was transparency. But that's the thing, when people have built their lives on your silence, your clarity feels like violence. Later that day, Lena sent a voice message. I didn't even open it. Just saved the file. Then the dealership called again. Hi, is this Aiden Larson? Yes. This is Rick from Westline Auto. I'm calling about the Q5 purchased by your sister Lena. We're running into some issues verifying the co-signer's backing with the trust account that was referenced. I already knew the answer, but I played dumb. Huh. That's strange. Well, since your name was on the trust document submitted as part of the loan application, we're required to confirm you're aware of the withdrawal made to cover the down payment. Do you recall authorizing that? Nope, I said flatly. And if that paperwork says otherwise, you may want to speak to your legal team. Rick paused. Understood. Click. An hour later, I got a text from Dad. You've made your point. Enough now. This is affecting your mother's credit. My point? I hadn't even made one yet. This wasn't revenge. Not yet. This was exposure. All I'd done was lift the veil and let their own decisions breathe in daylight. The damage? That was all them. I went for a walk that evening. The air felt different, lighter. Not because I had power, but because I'd finally stopped pretending I didn't. I wasn't the family ATM. I wasn't the background brother. I wasn't the reliable one they could emotionally blackmail with compliments like, "You're stronger than her." I was a man who built something. And they took it. And now? Now they were learning what happens when the quiet one starts speaking in signatures and statute numbers. That night, I checked the estate lawyer's follow-up email. Due to unauthorized activity, the trust's collateral use will remain suspended until we complete the full audit. Please advise if you'd like to initiate the disbursement records report as well. Yes. Yes, I would. Because if I was going to burn bridges, I might as well shine a spotlight on the ashes. It was Thursday when the real panic began. I was making coffee when my phone buzzed, blocked number. I let it go to voicemail. Then I listened. Aiden, this is Richard Foley, your family's financial advisor. I've been working with your parents for over a decade. I understand there's been some changes regarding the trust. I'd like to speak with you about it directly if possible. I sipped my coffee. Didn't call back. 3 hours later, another voicemail. Aiden, I've reviewed the documents from the estate lawyer. I can confirm you were within your rights to initiate the freeze under Clause 14C, though I'd encourage you to consider the broader impact this is having on your family's liquidity. Please call me. Liquidity. Such a polite little word for case. By lunchtime, the calls shifted from professionals to the truly desperate. Mom. Please, sweetheart, your father's freaking out. The house payment didn't go through and now they're saying we need to requalify for our refinance. Just stop this. Please. Lena text. Are you seriously going to let Mom and Dad lose the house over your little tantrum? Lena again. I'll give you your money back, okay? I'll figure it out. Just fix this. That last one? That made me laugh. Because there was no giving it back. She didn't borrow it. She stole it. And what she didn't realize was that fixing this didn't just mean putting the money back. It meant undoing a breach of fiduciary trust on a legally frozen estate. And she couldn't undo that with a half-hearted promise and a cute emoji. I sat on it all day. Didn't respond. Just watch the desperation mount. That night, my phone rang again. This time I answered. Lena's voice cracked before she even said hello. Please tell me you're done with this. Done with what? This vendetta. This, whatever this is. I stayed silent. She kept going. They're going to lose the house, Aiden. Like for real. The refinancing fell through. The bank's requiring revalidation of the trust before they'll approve anything else. And Dad's credit score just dropped 70 points. Do you even care? No, I said. She choked. You don't mean that. I absolutely do. There was silence. Then she tried another tactic, the one she always used when insults didn't work. I made a mistake. Okay? I panicked. I told them I had an inheritance coming because I didn't want to look broke. The car wasn't just for me, I needed it to prove I was moving forward. It wasn't supposed to hurt you. But it did. She paused. I know. Do you? She didn't answer. So I pushed the knife in, gently. You said I could just save again. I was angry. No, I said. You were honest. I let the silence stretch until it became unbearable. Then I gave her the only answer I had left. This is what happens when you gamble with someone else's future and bet they'll stay quiet. She whimpered. So what, you just want to ruin us? No, I said calmly. I want you to understand me. I didn't take anything from you. I just took my name off what you were stealing from. She started to cry. And I felt nothing. Because grief without accountability is just noise. After I hung up, I got one final email from the bank's audit team. We've completed the disbursement report. Please confirm whether you'd like us to release the full financial summary to all listed beneficiaries and advisors. Yes. Send it to everyone. Let them all see the paper trail, every dollar, every timestamp, every lie. Let it burn. I didn't hear from them for 3 days. Not a call. Not a message. Not even a passive-aggressive post on Facebook. The audit went out Friday morning. Sent directly to my parents, Lena, their financial advisor, the trust administrator, and, by request, our extended family legal contact, Aunt Mary. It was over 80 pages. Itemized. Highlighted. Each transaction traced with timestamps, notes, and descriptions. There it was in black and white. $42,812.16 withdrawn. No authorization from all co-beneficiaries. Funds misappropriated for non-approved use. Trigger clause, 14C. Legal freeze initiated by A. Larson. It was more than an audit. It was a mirror. And apparently it shattered them. Because that weekend, my cousin Jenna texted me. Dude, is it true your parents used your house fund for Lena's car? What the actual F***K? I never told Jenna. Never told anyone. But the audit report? It spoke loud. By Monday, the story had spread. Not because I made a scene, but because people started putting the pieces together. The new car. The sudden refinancing failure. The missed mortgage payment. The for sale sign on the lawn. Oh yeah? That went up quietly. A pocket listing, shared through their old realtor. Just in case. But the internet has no secrets. I found it on Zillow within 6 hours. Price: $589,000. Listed. Motivated sellers. Quick close preferred. Guess panic makes for great urgency. Lena tried to keep up appearances. Still posted her iced coffees and living my best life selfies. But the comments told a different story. One read, "Didn't you just get a $50,000 car? And now you're moving back home?" Another, "Weird how family drama always finds you, huh?" She turned her profile private by noon. Meanwhile, I was sipping free sparkling water in a real estate office 30 minutes away, signing a buyer's agreement. Not with the stolen fund, that was gone. But with the second fund. The one they didn't know about. See, While they were treating my original savings like monopoly money, I was funneling $200 a week into a separate account, tucked under a limited liability holding I created for freelance consulting. It was real. Just quiet. No paper trail they'd recognize. No bank they used. That account had $19,400. Enough for a smaller down payment on a modest condo I'd already scoped out. One with brick walls, a balcony, and a lock no one in my family had a key to. It wasn't the dream house. But it was mine. And best of all, it was bought with money they never had the chance to touch. That night, I checked my email. A new one from Madison at the bank. Hey Aiden, just FYI, your sister's auto loan status has changed. The dealership flagged the down payment as disputed. Her account's now under legal review, and a lien's been placed on the vehicle. She might reach out. Let me know if you want us to direct her elsewhere. No reply needed. They took everything from me, my trust, my effort, my dream, and thought I'd sit quietly in the corner again. Instead, they lost their financial crutch. Their fragile daughter lost her wheels. And I gained a home. Not just a place to live, but peace. Distance. Freedom. The irony? They still hadn't said the one thing I'd been waiting to hear since the moment this began. I'm sorry. But that was okay. Because I wasn't waiting anymore. They showed up at my door 3 days after closing on the condo. No warning. No heads up. Just 3 hollow knocks and the sight of my mom, dad, and sister standing in the hallway of my building, looking like they'd crawled out of a wreckage. Lena's eyes were red. No makeup. No designer bag. She looked ordinary. Mom tried to smile. Can we come in? No. Dad stepped forward. Son, I'm not your son right now. He flinched like I slapped him. Good. Mom folded her hands like she was praying. Please, Aiden. Just hear us out. We've lost the house. The loan didn't go through. We're going to have to move into your aunt's place until we figure things out. Your father's credit. I saw the foreclosure notice. I cut in. Tough week. Dad's face turned red. We didn't come here for sarcasm. No. You came here for relief. Again. Mom winced. That's not fair. No, I said, voice calm. What's not fair is working for 5 years to build a future, only to have it stolen by the people who were supposed to protect me. What's not fair is hearing my own sister say I could just save again after draining every cent I had. Lena finally spoke. I didn't mean it like that. But you did. And now it's my turn. I stepped forward, slowly. You all thought I'd stay quiet. That I'd swallow it. That I'd move on because I always do. You called me resilient like it was a curse word. Like it was permission to treat me like your insurance policy. My voice didn't shake. But I'm not your safety net anymore. Lena's lips trembled. I lost everything. I raised an eyebrow. You lost a car. She looked down. Dad tried again, softer this time. We were wrong. I was wrong. But you made your point. You got your revenge. This isn't revenge, I said. This is reflection. You finally saw what life looks like without my silence funding it. Mom started crying. We just want things to go back. I stopped her. They won't. Because I'm not going back. There was nothing dramatic about it. No yelling. No slammed doors. Just clean, cold truth. I handed Dad a sealed envelope. What's this? He asked. A legal statement. Confirming my removal from all family financial entities. The trust. The accounts. The co-signed authorizations. Everything. Effective immediately. He opened it. Read the bolded line. I, Aiden Larson, formally revoke all fiduciary obligations, co-beneficiary rights, and financial connections to the Larson Family Trust and its associated accounts. You're serious? He whispered. As death, I replied. Lena's tears finally fell. I didn't think it would go this far, That's because you never thought about consequences. Just convenience. I looked each of them in the eye. And when I asked why, you told me, you can just save again. I smiled. Well, so can you. I shut the door. No slam. Just a soft click. They stood on the other side for a minute. I heard the shuffle of feet, a muffled sob, then retreating steps. I walked back to my living room, where a single chair faced the window and the light spilled in warm and golden across the hardwood floor. No noise. No obligations. No guilt. And for the first time in my adult life, I breathed without asking permission.